Ladies and gentlemen, this is the start of the first round of the Bellator Fighting Championships Lightweight Single Elimination Tournament. Traído a ustedes en asociación con, being brought to you in association with Ford Motor Company y ESPN Deportes. Este combate, pactado a 3 asaltos en la división peso ligero. This bout, scheduled for 3 rounds of MMA action in the lightweight division. Los jueces, the judges, Rich Green, Rick Bays y Héctor Gómez. El referee, Troy Wall. Presentando la esquina azul, introducing the blue corner. Sube el cuadrilátero vestido de negro con color blanco y rojo. He steps in wearing black trimmed in white and red. Su peso oficial, 155 libras. His official weight, 156 pounds. Practica el arte marcial de estilo libre, con un récord profesional de 22 victorias, con 12 derrotas. He is a freestyle MMA fighter with a professional record of 22 victories, along with 12 defeats. Representing Premier Combat Sports, Omaha, Nebraska, Alonzo Zodidi Martinez. Su rival en la esquina roja, his opponent in the red corner, vestido de blanco con negro y dorado. He steps into the ring wearing white trimmed in black and gold. Detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 155 libras y un cuarto. He tipped the scales at an official 155 1/4 pounds. Practica los artes marciales de judo y lucha libre. He is a judo and wrestling practitioner, con un récord profesional de 17 victorias y 10 derrotas, with an MMA record of 17 victories and 10 losses. Representing Throwdown Elites, Los Ángeles, California, Toby Imada.
Fighters, center of the ring. Fighters, center of the ring. Gentlemen, we all know the rules. I want a good, clean fight. Let's touch gloves, go back to your corner. Let's get ready to rock and roll.
All right, so you heard it there from Troy Wah, and it is the first quarterfinal in the Bellator Fighting Championships lightweight tournament. Again, the fighters control their own destiny. No matchmakers really involved in the process. You win, you move on. You win tonight, you win $25,000, and you are on to the semifinals. A huge opportunity for these two experienced fighters to get a world championship belt.
Toby's throwing a couple big right hands.
And again, we'll be keeping a close eye on Alonzo Martinez. A very difficult weight cut for him. Will that play a factor with his cardio, with his gas, as we move on to the later rounds? Nice knee there.
Keep your knees out. You okay? You okay? Keep your knees out.
Maybe wondering how he got that Zodidi nickname. Might as well tell you. Buddy in high school says you will be to fighting what P. Diddy was to rap music. So I guess so far so good for Alonzo Martinez.
I'm not sure how to quite take that on his buddy. Depends on how you feel off P. Diddy, I guess. Working a good jab there. Now, that's one thing that Martinez definitely has on Imada is that reach advantage. See if he can exploit it. Both guys, lots of experience coming into this fight.
Martinez really doesn't go the distance too much either. We mentioned Imada, not a veteran of distance fight. 20 of 22 wins for Alonzo Martinez. He's finished his opponent. So you're talking KO, TKO, or submission. 20 of his 22 victories.
Yeah, Alonzo Martinez really has to be careful in the clinch. Oh, spinning back fist that missed. Got to be careful in the clinch here with a black belt in judo. He's going to try to leg trip, takes him down.
Martinez trying to stay off his back, able to do so at least there as Toby Imada tries to get into the full guard.
But Toby's going to want to try to pass into either side control. He's going to use his right foot to kind of kick off of the knee, or he's going to try to come over the top and mount. What Martinez really needs to do here is get Toby back into a full guard. Use that left forearm on his hip, push down towards his knee and recompose his guard. You can see him pushing right now. Imada not letting him have any of it, throwing some punches and just peppering him a little bit.
Imada there on top with the yellow trim on the white and black shorts. Martinez on the bottom with the black. Little up kick there. Oh. And again, lands right on the chin.
Got to be careful with up kicks that land halfway because it just pisses off your opponent.
Yeah, right. Can't feel good. Nice punches there to the ribs by Imada, willing Martinez to get back on his feet. Again, nice body shots there. Those really accumulate over the course of the fight.
Martinez throwing a couple kicks to the midsection, throwing up kicks. Big right hand coming down by Imada.
Yeah, Imada not afraid to strike with the left when it's there. Not a southpaw, but showing off a little power there with the left hand.
That's the problem when you get sweaty. It's hard to work guard. You need to kind of resort to rubber guard and things of that nature because a lot of the jiu-jitsu stuff gets negated at this level. Wrestlers tend to dominate more.
And again, Imada really showing off his toughness. Again, taking some of those up kicks right off the chin, but keeps coming at Martinez and forcing the issue.
You see Imada using his right instep there on the thigh of Martinez. He's going to try to push down with his right leg, create a little space, and slide his knee through. You see him right here, boom, passes right into side mount. Martinez tries to get up, but Imada's not having any of it.
You see the experience too, Jason. Martinez not wanting to give up his back there. Thought he could sneak out, wasn't able to do so.
Watch the back of the head.
Imada just kind of peppering it on the cross side here, seeing if he can open something up. Those punches don't do a whole lot, but they make the judges look at you. Imada's working the choke a little bit. He's got his right hand around his throat. Is he going to have the leverage to finish a rear naked choke from where he's at? Oh, he's on his back now. Martinez really has to be careful here. You've got a judo black belt on your back. It's over.
That will do it. Toby Imada making a statement as the lightweight tournament kicks off here at the Bellator Fighting Championships. No doubt a disappointed Alonzo Martinez, unable to get anything going against Toby Imada. And you talk about a dark horse in this tournament, look no further than Toby Imada, the second-degree judo black belt, a 7-year pro, made his debut all the way back in August of 1998, runs his winning streak to 7 victories, as he finishes a very qualified opponent, by the way, in Alonzo Diddy Martinez, and really a great stylistic matchup on paper. Thank Matt Stanzel, our great matchmaker, for doing that. Two guys who have about 70 fights total squaring off in a quarterfinal matchup. Again, a ton of talent here in the lightweight division. Now you look at the end of the fight, Toby Imada able to lock in the rear naked choke. Again, Martinez tried to throw a few punches there, but he tapped pretty quickly, and Toby Imada really showing off his versatility. Said he was going to mix it up. That's exactly what he did. And why go 15 minutes? If you're able to get the finish that quickly, no reason to go the distance. And again, one more look here as Toby Imada rolls over and gets Alonzo Martinez in the rear naked choke. And Martinez, not enough gas. There you see him throw the right hand, but that will do it. Martinez exit cage right. We send it inside for the announcement.
Damas y caballeros, la esquina azul se rinde con un tiempo oficial de 3 minutos, 26 segundos el primer asalto. Ladies and gentlemen, this fight comes to an end after the blue corner taps out with an official time of 3 minutes, 26 seconds of the very first round. Your winner, by way of rear naked choke submission, and advancing to the next round of the Bellator Fighting Championships Lightweight Tournament. Damas y caballeros, el vencedor por estrangulación de espalda y avanzando a la segunda ronda del torneo ligero de Bellator Fighting Championships, Toby Imada.
So Toby Imada one step closer to the Bellator gold, $25,000 in his back pocket. He gets a chance now in the semifinals to win another $50,000. Toby Imada, our first semifinalist. He is on to the final 4 in the Bellator Lightweight Championship. Now we send it to Jason Chambers inside the cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Toby Imada. Toby, you were on a 6-fight win streak. You made it number 7. Tell me a little bit about the fight.
Well, it came out kind of under a lot of pressure. It's a big deal, and it's something different than I'm normally used to. But came out, tried to mix it up, feel my opponent out. Didn't get to do a lot of research on him, so there was a lot of feeling out going on. But I'm not a strong dude. Came in quick, game ready. I just saw a good opportunity for me to take. Didn't pass anything up, and as soon as it was there, I took it, stuck with it, and ended up finishing the way I did. Just trying to give it all that I got.
Choking people out in good times. Ladies and gentlemen, Toby Imada.
All right, so Toby Imada moving on to the semifinals. The win over Alonzo. Diddy Martinez back with more Bellator action right after this.
Damas y caballeros, este combate inicia la primera ronda del torneo de eliminación directa de Bellator Fighting Championships en la división peso pluma. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout begins the first round of the Bellator Fighting Championships Single Elimination Featherweight Tournament. Traído a ustedes en asociación con, being brought to you in association with Ford Motor Company y ESPN Deportes. Pactado a 3 asaltos en la división peso pluma. This bout scheduled for 3 rounds in the featherweight division. Los jueces son, the judges are Rich Green, John Rupert y Héctor Gómez. El referee, Frank Gentile. Presentando la esquina azul, introducing the blue corner. Vestido de pantaloncillos negros con vivos amarillos y blancos. He steps into the ring wearing the black trunks with white and yellow trim. Detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 145 libras y media. He tipped the scales at an official 145 1/2 pounds. Practica el arte marcial de lucha libre con un récord profesional de 11 victorias y 4 derrotas. He is a wrestler with an MMA record of 11 victories and 4 losses. Representando, fighting out of Universal Martial Arts, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, Ben Greer. Su rival en la esquina roja, his opponent in the red corner, vestido de blanco con color negro. He steps into the ring wearing white trimmed in black. Su peso oficial 145 libras. His official weight 145 pounds. También practica el arte marcial de lucha libre con un récord invicto de 4 victorias. He too is a wrestler with an undefeated MMA record of 4 victories. Representing NorCal Fight Alliance, Los Ángeles, California, Joe Soto.
Okay, you got your instructions in the dressing room. Remember, protect yourself at all times. If I say freeze or stop, stop. Listen to my commands, all right? Are there any questions over here? Any questions over here? Remember about the elbows, right? You got the elbows, right? We're not using the elbows, all right? You got that? You got it. Good luck.
And we do want to point out, Frank Gentile pointing out the fact that elbows not permitted in the first and second rounds of the tournaments. Want to make sure that there aren't any cuts that prevent guys from continuing on. If these guys do advance to the championship, elbows come back in the mix. Other than that, Jason, the unified rules of mixed martial arts are in play.
Right, you just don't want to see a fight get stopped on a cut. These guys work really hard to get where they're at. We want to make sure the fighters have to beat the other fighters, and the doctor isn't stepping in and saying, hey, this is the end of your route.
And elbows rarely finish fights. More often than not, they just open up cuts that can't be closed all that easily.
Unless you're Kenny Flooring. Finish a lot of fights for Kenny.
Absolutely. Elbows. But we look at Joe Soto here, and you saw how loose he was early on. I think we're talking about a wash in terms of these guys and their wrestling skills, but a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu edge for Ben Greer, and you have to think he'll be looking for the submission at all costs.
Well, I think Joe Soto is on a clock here. He's got about 45 seconds to put away Ben Greer before his stats all change.
Yeah, again, as you heard Jason mention, as Joe Soto was making his way to the cage, just 6:06 of ring time in his entire career.
Ben using the fence really well, getting that right underhook up underneath the left shoulder of Mr. Soto there. I got a feeling this fight's going to go a little longer than Mr. Soto's used to.
Again, a huge opportunity for these fighters. You win 3 fights and you become a Bellator World Champion, not to mention $175,000. But it really must be nice for the fighters. They control their own destiny. So at the end of a fight, instead of begging and imploring the promoters for a title shot, you're on to the semifinals.
Yeah, Soto shoots in on a deep single leg there. You see Greer really focusing with the wrestling, pushing the head away. Great wrestling positioning. When a guy's in a single leg like that, you want to first get his head off of you, just like Ben did. Greer put his head on Soto's head there. getting control, got his body away. Now you see him pummeling for those underhooks off the fence.
Nice wide base there for Joe Soto as he controls the action up against the cage, throwing some left hands there.
It's going to be hard for Soto to take Greer down coming from that strong wrestling background. Also, it looks like Greer is a little bit stronger than Soto. Soto, however, extremely relaxed.
Yeah, don't let the physical, fool you, right? I mean,
no, absolutely. I mean, that's why jiu-jitsu was invented, because the physical act only goes so far when you have the technical edge. Soto taking a really low posture in his striking. You better hope Ben doesn't launch a front kick to the head, because that could put an end to your night.
Yeah, and keeping those hands down a little bit. You notice Greer's hands are up, Soto's are down.
One of the interesting things is you're going to have to question, how is this going to go and affect the psyche of Soto if he has to go 2-3 rounds? Does he feel like, hey, I can't beat this guy, and my other fights went quicker? I mean, right now he's working on a guard, showing some relentless right hands, trying to control the feet and pass.
Joe Soto doing a nice job here.
You see fighters do this often from this position, like Greer's doing. He has the half guard and he works a hand underneath the thigh. They're looking for sweeps. They're trying to get back on top of their opponent from a disadvantaged position. Right now, however, Ben just got mounted by Soto. You can't sit there right now if you're Greer.
Not where Ben Greer wants to be. Joe Soto working into the full mount there. Greer giving up his back here. Not something you want to do this early on in the fight. Joe Soto, Jason, got the underhooks in there?
No, he's got his hooks in. He doesn't have the underhooks. He's got to make sure that if he does get the underhooks, that Greer, he's really got to work to get those out and stand up and try to come out the back door and untangle his legs. He can't just sit here.
Greer still intelligently defending himself, but he is taking some punishment here, and he needs to reverse course here in a hurry.
Soto's a little bit high on him. Might try to go for something and slide off here. But you see, when Greer is straightening that right leg, what he's trying to do is he's trying to unhook that instep of Soto that's hooked around his waist and kind of create some space so he can either turn to his back to the mat or he can control a wrist and turn right like that, getting him off of his back here. This has got intelligent.
That will do it. Frank Gentile intervenes. Joe Soto living up to the nickname The Hammer and fired up about the victory. The first round TKO over Ben Greer, and a disappointing night for the pride of Vancouver, Canada, Ben Greer, absolutely. But Joe Soto moving on to the semifinals in the Bellator featherweight division. Really an impressive performance there. Volume punches throughout. You thought if this thing went to the second or third round, maybe Joe Soto would gas, but you know what? As has been the case throughout his mixed martial arts career, now has 5 first-round victories for Joe Soto. All right, Joe Soto moving on to the semifinals at 145 pounds. Ben Greer still recovering on the canvas there, wants to get up, and he is able to get up, but decidedly a disappointing night for Ben Greer. And if you're looking for sleepers in this tournament, I think Joe Soto certainly just established himself as a sleeper. Maybe you don't even want to call him one. I think Joe had some momentum coming in. All right, let's end it inside the cage. Lupe Contreras.
Damas y caballeros, el referee Frank Gentile para la contienda con un tiempo oficial de 3 minutos 40 segundos del primer asalto. Ladies and gentlemen, referee Frank Gentile steps in and calls a halt to this bout with an official time of 3 minutes 40 seconds of the very first round. Your winner, by way of technical knockout, el vencedor por knockout técnico. Y avanzando a la segunda ronda del torneo peso pluma de Bellator Fighting Championships. The winner, and advancing to the next round of the Bellator Fighting Championships Featherweight Tournament, Joe Soto.
So Joe Soto moving his mixed martial arts record to 5-0, and really the hammer, there's the stoppage there from Frank Gentile. Powerful striking for Joe Soto back in South Florida in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is part of the Bellator Fighting Championships Single Elimination Featherweight Tournament. Este combate, pactado a 3 asaltos en la división peso pluma, set for 3 rounds of MMA action in the featherweight division. Los jueces de este combate son, the judges scoring this bout are Rick Bays, John Rupert, y Héctor Gómez. El referee, Jason Herzog. En la esquina azul, in the blue corner, vestido de pantaloncillos negros con rojo y blanco. He steps into the ring wearing the black trunks with red and white. Su peso oficial, 145 libras. His official weight, 145 pounds. Practica el arte marcial de boxeo tailandés con un récord profesional de 9 victorias y 4 derrotas. He is a Muay Thai practitioner with an MMA record of 9 victories and 4 defeats. Originario originally from Lima, Perú. Y representing Team Nogueira, Miami, Florida, Luis Baboon Palomino. Su contrincante en la esquina roja, his opponent in the red corner, vestido de verde con color blanco. He steps in wearing green trimmed in white. Su peso oficial, 145 libras y 3 cuartos. His official weight, 145 3/4 pounds. Practica el arte marcial de estilo libre, con un récord profesional de 6 victorias y solo 1 derrota. He is a freestyle fighter with an MMA record of 6 victories and 1 lone defeat. Representing Arizona Combat Sports, Phoenix, Arizona, Estevan, el terrible Payan.
Fighter, center up. Fighters have gone over the rules in the back. There are no final questions from you, Blue. No final questions from you, Red. Touch gloves, come out ready to fight.
And I wouldn't want Jason Herzog's job for this one. Payan against Palomino, thought to be, at least by the Bellator brass, a potential fight of the night candidate. Palomino has lost 3 of his 4 by TKO. Conversely, Payan has never been finished. I don't think we're going the distance here, Jay.
I don't think we're going to see the ground at all unless one of them hits it after getting knocked out. Low kick there by a man.
Palomino actually back in November went the full 25 minutes in a fight, then came back and fought a week later, one of those losses there. So has the experience and certainly had a lot of cage time in 2008.
Palomino swinging for the fences early.
Yeah, really an intense guy.
You know, they say he hits like Mike Tyson, the little Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he calls himself the new Wanderlei Silva, the new and improved Wanderlei Silva. Maybe he would want to be Wanderlei Silva at least circa 2009.
That's why he said improved. Estevan Payan just kind of feeling out Palomino right now.
I think given the striking prowess, Jay, sorry to cut you off, but given the striking prowess of both these guys, maybe this was the expectation that there would be a feel-out process.
Yeah, I think that there is. Anytime a guy especially is a striker, you're going to come into the fight and you're going to try to gauge your distance, do the things you're used to, work your jab a little bit, kind of feel out your opponent, see what his game plan is. Palomino's connected with a couple of those leg kicks that have kind of spun him around. See, boom, there's another low leg kick. Let's see if El Terrible is going to have an answer for that.
I wonder if our CEO Bjorn Redney would let me go with that pink hair in episode 2. What do you think?
I think that you should do it either way.
Match the logo. Payan trying to move forward here, but Palomino really is dangerous that you have to really play your cards close to the vest.
Payan controlling the center of the ring and working those jabs. Payan looks like he's trying to wait for a little bit to be a little more cautious, kind of feeling out Palomino a little bit. Palomino still throwing that leg kick, connecting, moving around good, has good head movement. I think it's the countdown to these guys just stand in the middle of the ring and just slug it out.
Well, if Palomino has the advantage with his hands, you'd have to say that the advantage in terms of the kicks and the Muay Thai is decidedly in Payan's corner.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both of these guys are in fantastic camps. The only difference, obviously, is that Arizona Combat Sports is a little bit more well-rounded. They focus on a little more than just the striking. But obviously, as we can tell, Palomino has won the Atlantic Cup twice in 6 months, which is a jiu-jitsu tournament, so he's no slouch himself on the ground. Good jab right in the face of Palomino there. Stuck to him there. Using that reach advantage is so important when you're standing up. Payan's able to use that jab and kind of gauge distance and load that right hand behind it. Oh, another right hand down the pipe.
The Lally brothers getting fired up with that Payan strike. Meantime, across the cage, you see the legend Minotauro Nogueira barking orders at Palomino. A lot of good veteran trainers and mixed martial artists inside the Hard Rock Live Arena tonight.
Yeah, the one thing that stands out to me is if you look at Palomino right now, he's throwing heavy bombs. He wants to get the knockout. He's hungry. And you know, if he connects with one of those, it's going to be good night to Payan. But Payan's a little more composed. He's outboxing Palomino at this point. Palomino's still kind of getting his distance and not able to get underneath that jab like he needs to.
Nice jab there. It appears as though Palomino is bleeding from his nose, so Payan has landed, and there he throws another leg kick.
Yeah, Payan's done a really good job of just staying out of Palomino's way.
And again, you have to take a calculated approach. I know we build it as a fight of the night, but again, given how dangerous both of these guys are on their feet, you really have to be careful not to give your opponent an opening.
Yeah, absolutely. It only takes one opening to get kissed on the button.
There's a nice close-up there. You see Palomino has been opened up there, so Payan at least winning the first 4 minutes of this fight. Nice inside leg kick there.
Payan stalking down Palomino. Palomino just spit out some blood there. Hopefully that wasn't his mouthpiece. Palomino looking for the kill, just swinging for the fences. The thing with swinging like that is it's going to tire you out.
I think maybe he's got some confidence on the heels of that 25-minute brawl he had back in November. Maybe thinks he can has the gas and the cardio to throw flurries early and recover.
Yep. Payan's doing a really good job of just kind of staying. Oh, big right hand to the top.
Yeah, probably. And Payan goes down. Yeah, slipped there, but probably the best right hand and the best strike of the round so far for Palomino. There.
Yeah, both guys are able to kind of get a couple grazing shots off. If I had to score the round so far, obviously Payan's winning this. He's scoring more shots that are doing damage. You look at the nose right there of Palomino, bloodied up, lips a little bit swollen. Got 15 seconds left in the round here, and I think that there's not much Palomino can do to win it back.
Well, we will watch the Palomino nose. Will that affect his breathing as we move forward? A flurry.
Oh, big right.
One.
Oh, saved by the bell.
As Palomino saved by the bell there a little bit. And really what we didn't think we would, what we didn't have at the beginning of that round, we certainly had at the end. A huge right hand from Estevan Payan. Just a gorgeous counter punch. Palomino, as you see, was moving forward, left his hands down, and Payan took full advantage.
Yeah, Payan hit it with that right, and even though there was 10 seconds left, he was holding back. He let that right hand go within the last 10 seconds, smelled the blood, hopped on him, and unfortunately, I think the round saved him on this one. Bell definitely was the deciding factor for this round.
Well, perhaps Palomino was the favorite, but he's down a round, I think, for sure, at least on Jason Chambers' scorecard. We are going to give you a replay here. Really an exciting end of the round as Palomino ends up on his backside. Jason, talk us through it.
Well, right here you see Payan just sees the opening, right hand straight, jumps on him, throws a couple right hands, looking to make the finish. We look at it from a different angle here. Palomino misses. Payan counters with that straight right, tries to get on with the finish. Palomino kind of got back to him pretty quick. If you see it from this angle, boom, right on the button. About a half a second later, he's right on top of him.
Great
Palomino tries
job
to get up.
by the camera, guys, getting you that look. You actually saw Palomino's eyes roll back in his head, and thankfully, you're right, Jason, you mentioned 10, 15 seconds to go in the round. He was saved by the bell there. You don't think Payan would have had much difficulty working into a submission or a finish of some kind from there. So 1-0 Estevan Payan, and Luis Palomino, you know, he's a confident, cocky guy. It'll be interesting to see how he responds to the adversity.
Let's go, second round. Fighter ready? Fighter, you ready? Let's fight!
We got round number 2. The action continues here. It is the debut of the Bellator Fighting Championships. John Anik and Jason Chambers. The quarterfinal matchup here at 145 pounds. Estevan Payan and Luis Palomino. The winner here moving on to the semifinals with $25,000 in the back pocket.
I'll tell you what, one of the things too is after getting your bell rung by that last big right hand that Palomino just ate, a minute's not a whole lot of time to recover. So you got to think, is Palomino a little bit more glove shy now? Is he going to come out swinging as wild as he was? And you know that big right hand gave Payan a bunch of credibility and a bunch of confidence going into this last round. Second round, sorry.
Really a nice approach for Estevan Payan right out of the chute. Again, that's Arizona Combat Sports. Very hot right now. A lot of their fighters having a lot of success. Ryan Bader in the UFC. But there was a game plan against a guy in Luis Palomino who's very dangerous, and so far, so good for Estevan Payan.
I think this time, if you're Estevan Payan, you've got to be real confident in setting up your strikes. And from what we've seen with Palomino, is definitely taken back his wild striking this much that we've seen this far into the round. He's kind of a little more glove shy. He's not swinging for the fences like he was. And then he swings for the fences.
Not sure he landed there. Again, probably another slip there from Payan, Jay?
Yeah, you can tell the guys are slipping a little bit. Blood and sweat tend to make for a interesting lubricant for your feet on the mat.
Right. Well, I think if you are a Palomino fan or a corner man, I think you have to be encouraged at least by the way he looks at the beginning of the second round. Not that he's doing a bunch of appreciable damage, but he doesn't seem to be all that phased from what happened in the first round.
Yeah, and also, you know, I think if you're Payan right now, I would have stayed on him a little more in the beginning of the round, because coming off of that big right hand, you know he's going to be a little dazed, and all you're really doing right now by not staying on him is letting him kind of recoup and get his wits back about him and put together his game plan.
Couple nice kicks there from Payan, one to the head, one to the inside lower left leg.
See Palomino now taking control of the center of the ring, looking to slug it out. Payan looks like he got hit in the back of the head.
Yeah, was hoping Jason Herzog might intervene, but that's not going to happen.
Looks like Payan might be breathing a little bit heavy too. I wonder if that right hand and some of that movement that he was doing to control in the center of the first round has any effect on his cardio.
And you know, Jay, sometimes you can train and put in a great 6 or 8 week camp, and sometimes you can end up just not having your cardio or being a little bit flat on fight night. Payan certainly isn't flat tonight, but sometimes your cardio doesn't necessarily make its way to the cage.
Well, one of the things you got to look at too is where the people train. Elevation is a huge factor. Now, Payan obviously being in Arizona, that's a very, very dry atmosphere, very dry climate. Coming out here to Florida, it's more humid, and that affects different people differently. Good inside leg kick by Payan there.
Yeah, nice exchange by both of them with the leg kicks there. Well, I don't want to call it a bounce back 3 minutes for Palomino because he hasn't really done much damage, but, you know, he's at least gotten back into the fight and maybe getting some of that steam that he lost at the end of the first round.
Absolutely. The thing with those knockdowns and those slips is it's really hard to tell if the judges are looking at that from their angle and saying, hey, you got knocked down, or hey, you just slipped on the canvas there.
And for the first time tonight,
both fighters throwing heavy leather in the center there. Payan almost looked like he went for a double leg at one point.
Interesting, for the first time tonight, the Hollywood, Florida faithful getting a little impatient.
You know, so much goes into this. Like you said, a 6 to 8 week camp. You're sacrificing so much. These fighters have talked about it. Not only are they sacrificing time away from their families, their friends, but you know, they're getting up and they're running, they're training, they're pushing themselves to that point where we all go, I want to stop, I don't want to do this anymore, it's difficult, and then you're pushing past that.
Well, Jay, your assessment that Payan seemed to be breathing heavy is absolutely accurate. See, the mouth is almost fully open right now. Crowd getting a little restless here. Expected action out of these two. You got it at the end of the first round. Second round, though, again, sort of a lot of inactivity, I think, defining this second stanza here.
I don't know how restless the crowd would be if they had to be on the other end of either one of these guys right now. Two guys getting knocked down from right hands and left hooks, and you know, both of these guys know this fight could very easily end in a flash knockout. When you look at the last round, the first 4 minutes and 45 seconds were kind of a slow pace like this. The last 10 seconds, boom, we hit the canvas, almost over, saved by the bell.
All right, 15 seconds left in the round. Is somebody going to try and steal the round? I don't know who's won this round. The first round was probably 10-9 for Payan. Does anybody want it in the last 5 seconds? All right, we go to a third and final round right after this.
Stop. Over here. Ladies and gentlemen, fight for your moment. You're here. Walk over here and wipe off your feet. Yeah. There you go. Good.
All right, there is Luis Palomino, a huge opportunity in front of him and Estevan Payan, a featherweight quarterfinal here at the debut of the Bellator Fighting Championships. $25,000 in a spot in the semifinals awaits the winner. Someone's got to take control of this fight.
Yeah, you know, and during the intermission there, the corner break, we had Trevor Lally yelling at his corner to throw knees. You got to throw knees. You got to win this round. It's too close to call. You don't want to leave it to the judges. So let's see if Payan listens to Mr. Lally.
And you did see Payan breathing very heavily there in the second round. Do fighters ever take a round off, so to speak, to try and conserve energy?
One more training?
No, while you're fighting here, if, you know, Payan was breathing very heavily in the second round, would it be a strategy to maybe take the second round lightly to try to conserve energy for the third and final round?
You know what? Usually the first round is the round that people kind of do a feeling out pace and things like that, because you don't want to push things too hard. You can't get a lot of submissions on guys when they're you know, they're fresh and they got a ton of gas in the gas tank. They can fight those takedowns. It's that 1% that, you know, you're able to get in and get that takedown when the guy's a little bit more tired than you, just 1% more tired. And, you know, when you both come out of the tank fresh, it's really hard. These guys are giving it their all, though.
Let's go, guys. You got to engage.
Payan working the inside leg kick, said, hey, you know what, that worked on me. Let me see if I can get this on you.
Again, the crowd getting a little bit restless here. Payan seems to be landing the inside leg kicks, again, not doing a ton of damage.
Palomino going to the body there a little bit, trying to work the body of Payan.
Ooh, a huge left hand there by Palomino. Might have been his best land of the fight.
Goes for the shot. Payan didn't change his level there on that shot. You can tell he doesn't come from a wrestling background.
Yeah, trying to shoot in for the takedown there. Probably was stung a little bit by that nice right hand from Palomino.
Yeah. Ooh, stiff left hand by Palomino.
Palomino getting poked in the eye. Herzog says continue.
Unintentional there. One of the great things about mixed martial arts is that you see these fighters have the most respect for themselves. I mean, you go into this, you know that for 8 weeks, I'm going to be training to kick your butt. For 8 weeks, I know the sacrifices and everything you went through to kick my butt. And, you know, while we're in that ring, we're not friends, but we sure aren't enemies either. And at the end of the day, hey, it's a sport, and you respect the heck out of each other.
Nice block there by Palomino on the high kick.
I'm not sure if that's blood or just red hair dye.
I was just going to ask you the same thing.
Taking a page out of Chris Lieben's barber's book.
Again, Palomino religious with that left kick, whether he's landed it inside or to the body. But Palomino seems to have his legs.
Palomino's just still stalking down Payan. Payan's not really setting up those kicks really well. You see he's missed with a few of them, and you got to set those kicks
there
up
by
with punches.
Palomino.
Yeah.
You know, Jason, you pointed out early in the second round, Payan appeared to be gassing. It will be interesting if he wins the decision to see if fatigue and cardio was an issue. You wouldn't expect it to be. Two minutes left in the fight. It hangs in the balance. We'll see which way the judges go. If it comes to that, Palomino probably has been the more effective striker here in the third round, just courtesy of that huge right hand. But again, not a lot of activity on the part of either guy.
Yeah, you know, I think both guys are going to hear that 10-second clacker, and they're going to have to go in there and bang it out. Oh, both guys kind of getting into it a little more. Sometimes all it takes is getting hit once to kind of step in there and step up the game a little.
Jason Herzog saw it, but Palomino is not the referee. He needs to continue and fight and stop worrying about the eye poke there.
Yeah, that's what happens when guys come from a boxing or a striking background, is they tend to feel each other out a little more. They don't have the killer instinct that the wrestlers will sometimes come in here with, or guys looking to finish the fight through jiu-jitsu or just that big right hand. Both guys, great boxing, throwing heavy leather, but unfortunately we only have about a minute left in this fight, and it could go either way at this point.
Palomino continues to stalk his opponent. Clearly looks to be the fresher fighter at this stage of things. Not what you would have expected with all the fireworks at the end of the first round.
No, as we move into here, about 45 seconds left, one of these guys has to really turn it up. This is the part where we talk about, you know, making warriors. These guys have to figure out which one of them is a warrior. Oh, almost a knockdown.
The Payan corner seemingly frustrated at this point, and Estevan really treading water at this stage of the fight. Palomino fails to land the huge left hand. And it looks as though Payan is just intent on dancing around and hoping he wins the decision.
Yeah, I think Payan thinks he may have won this fight. If he can get a takedown, he may just have, but at this point, oh, fight goes to the ground the last 4 seconds. Oh.
All right, so 15 minutes, not enough to decide the featherweight quarterfinal between Estevan Payan and Luis Palomino. Jason, I know you're not a judge. You don't play one on television. How'd you see this one playing out?
Boy, this is really hard. This is why I never want to be a judge. You look at fights like this, and there's only going to be a loser. There's not going to be a winner, unfortunately, because no matter who wins on this, both guys kind of walk away feeling like, hey, I should have won. I could have done better. And when you let it go to the judges, it's really hard to figure out. I think at this point, you kind of got to give the, the first round, the end of it went to Palomino, but you had the whole first round kind of being dominated. I'm sorry, the end of the round went to Payan. The first round was dominated by Palomino. Second round, it looked like Palomino was making a comeback, and then this round too, I think he kind of set the pace a little more. So I think I'm going to have to squeak out a decision to Palomino on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would tend to go that way as well. You called it at the beginning. We weren't going to see a whole lot of ground activity. Both guys wanted to strike in, and although there wasn't much appreciable damage done in the final 2 rounds, I think just based upon controlling the cage and moving forward and forcing the action, I think you'd have to give those rounds to Palomino. Remains to be seen if the judges saw it the way we did.
Yeah, the way the judges should look at these fights is that they're looking at technical aggression, who dominated the stand-up, who dominated the ground.
Again, we do want to point out the only knockdown of the fight was back in round number 1 at the end of things, and quite a knockout it was, Jay.
Yeah, Payan right here with a big right hand, connects right on the button, boom!
Well, Payan really showed off his chin there in not succumbing to that pressure. Well, let's get the decision.
Damas y caballeros, después de 3 asaltos, esta es la decisión oficial. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, the official scorecard reads as follows. El juez Baez anotó 29-28 para Palomino. Judge Baez scores it 29-28 for Palomino. El juez Rupert anotó 29-28 para Payan. Judge Rupert scores it 29-28 for Payan. Y el juez Gómez anotó 29-28. Judge Gómez scores it 29-28. Para el ganador, por decisión dividida, to the winner, by way of split decision, and advancing to the next round y avanzando a la segunda ronda, Estevan, el terrible Payan. Eliminación directa de Bellator Fighting Championships en la división peso pluma. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the Bellator Fighting Championships Single Elimination Featherweight Tournament. Traído a ustedes en asociación con, being brought to you in association with Ford Motor Company y ESPN Deportes. Este combate, pactado a 3 asaltos en la división peso pluma. This bout, 3 rounds of MMA in the featherweight division. Los jueces, the judges, Rick Baez, John Rupert y Rich Green. El referee, Troy Wall. En la esquina azul, in the blue corner, vestido de pantaloncillos verdes con vivos blancos, negros y amarillos. He steps into the ring wearing the green trunks trimmed in black, white, and yellow. Detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 144 libras y media. He tipped the scales at an official 144.5 pounds. Practica el arte marcial de boxeo tailandés con un récord profesional de 12 victorias y 5 derrotas. He is a Muay Thai fighter with an MMA record of 12 victories along with 5 defeats. Representing Reyes Gym, Tijuana, Baja California, México, Yahir, el Guerrero Reyes. Y en la esquina roja, in the red corner, vestido de negro con blanco y amarillo. He steps in wearing black trimmed in white and gold. Su peso oficial, 145 libras y media. His official weight, 145.5 pounds. Practica los artes marciales del boxeo y lucha libre con un récord profesional de 14 victorias y 6 derrotas. He is a boxer and wrestler with an MMA record of 14 victories and 6 defeats. Representing Combat Sports Club, Dallas, Texas, Nick the Ghost Gonzalez.
Fighters, center of the ring. Fighters, center of the ring. Gentlemen, we all know the rules. I want a good, clean fight. Let's touch gloves, go back to your corner, let's get ready to rock and roll.
All right, so you heard it there from Troy Waugh, and again, Nick Gonzalez fighting out of the Combat Sports Club in Dallas, Texas, looking at this Bellator opportunity. It's a huge one for his career, has fought some great competition, Eve Edwards, Josh Thompson. The big name competition is on his resume, but this is his opportunity to win a major world title, and it begins right now. You see Reyes there on the left side of your screen. Now the right side of your screen in green, the black and white trim there for Nick Gonzalez.
Gonzalez puts a little low leg kick. It's going to be interesting to see if both of these fighters play into their striking strengths, or if we see a little more ground action coming out of one of these two.
Veteran Guy Mesger imploring Nick Gonzalez to shoot in. Wants him to force the action here early on.
Both fighters with similar records, similar experience, swinging for the fences.
Yeah, Reyes landing a nice knee there inside.
Reyes really getting in deep on that double.
Yeah,
oh,
Yahir
he's looking
really
for a knee bar.
aggressive.
Not sure if Reyes is going for a knee bar or a heel hook there.
Couple nice straight right hands from the top there for Nick Gonzalez.
Yeah, I know he's getting punched in the face though. Reyes using the fence to stand up. He's got a guillotine in. He's kind of working. He's got to clear the other hand. He's trying to jump guard to get that guillotine.
Gonzalez better get that head out.
Nick's head is turning purple a little bit.
Better get that head out. Yahir trying to lock it in.
It's really hard to finish guys in the first few minutes of fights. Everyone's really calm and composed, and see right there, his head's out, he's safe. Reyes back in on a double leg. Gonzalez are trying to turn his hips. Boom.
Nice takedown there by Reyes.
Constantly working Reyes, even though he's on his way back up, he's punching Morales in the face.
Yeah, Reyes was the underdog coming in. You wouldn't know it so far.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's great about these tournaments. You know, you really just don't know how these things are going to end up. You can think this person may be a favorite, this person may be a favorite. Right now, you see both guys trading back and forth. Oh!
Yeah, those Gonzalez knees clearly did some damage. His corner wants him to go in and go for the finish.
Oh!
Now Reyes lands.
Oh, that choke is on tight. It's going to be over. Oh, it's a countdown till it's over, and it's over.
That will do it. Yahir Reyes stunning the crowd here at the Seminole. Works into the rear naked choke. Guy Mesger and company not happy in the corner. Yahir Reyes making quite a statement, and boy is his corner happy. What a win for Yahir Reyes out of Tijuana, Mexico. Nick Gonzalez, you saw him on the promotional material for the Bellator Fighting Championships. This is an upset. If you want to talk about upsets in the quarterfinal round here, this was not necessarily the expectation. Yahir Reyes, certainly a gifted fighter. They know him well in Tijuana. The only fighter on the debut card here that doesn't speak English. He is moving on to the semifinals in the 145-pound division, joining the likes of Estevan, Payan, and Joe Soto, who had moved on. And really great to see the excitement out of the corner there on the part of Yahir Reyes. As for Nick Gonzalez, you see there, he was really up against it, Jay, from the minute the fight began, and really never could get out of his own way.
Morales is throwing big, heavy gloves. Boom, left hand by Reyes. Right away, he jumps, he sees the opportunity, jumps on the back, gets his hooks in, gets that left hand around the throat, cinches it up. Gonzalez doesn't have much choice but to tap there. Gonzalez teeing off, Reyes hits him with that left, another angle, looking for the finish. Notice he goes right away to the neck. That's something that a lot of high-level jiu-jitsu guys will do. They don't worry necessarily about getting the hooks in and have this pattern, but you see that neck there, jump on it, start working the choke. And from another angle there, that left hand just drops him to the canvas.
Huge
right here onto
left
the back.
hand. You'll see the tap there. 8 submission victories now for Yahir Reyes. None bigger than this one as he takes out the favored Nick Gonzalez to move on to the semifinals at 145 pounds. You see the elation. Now we'll send it inside the Bellator cage for the decision.
Damas y caballeros, la esquina roja se rinde con un tiempo oficial de 2 minutos 11 segundos del primer asalto. Ladies and gentlemen, the red corner taps out with an official time of 2 minutes, 11 seconds of the first round. Your winner, by way of rear naked choke submission, el vencedor por sumisión de estrangulación de espalda. Y avanzando a la segunda ronda and moving on to the second round of Bellator Fighting Championships, Yahir El Guerrero Reyes.
So Yahir Reyes moving on to the semifinals, joining Estevan, Payan, and Joe Soto. Will determine the matchup shortly hereafter. But Yahir Reyes gets his 8th submission victory. He's won 5 straight as he gets by Nick Gonzalez. We take another look here. He's able to land the huge left hand, and then he goes for the kill, sensed blood in the water, and Nick Gonzalez could not recover. Yahir Reyes tightens up on that rear naked choke, and Nick Gonzalez, just like that, bounced from the tournament. Yahir Reyes is moving on. We'll be right back with more after this.
Damas y caballeros, continuamos el torneo de eliminación directa de Bellator Fighting Championships en la división peso ligero. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue the Bellator Fighting Championships Single Elimination Lightweight Tournament. Traído a ustedes en asociación con, being brought to you in association with Ford Motor Company y ESPN Deportes. Este combate pactado a 3 asaltos. This bout set for 3 rounds of MMA action. Los jueces son, the judges are John Rupert, Héctor Gómez, and Rich Green. El referee, Jason Herzog. Presentando la esquina azul, introducing the blue corner. Vestido de negro con color blanco. He steps in wearing black, trimmed in white. Su peso oficial, 153 libras y media, weighing in officially at 153.5 pounds. Practica el arte marcial de estilo libre, con un récord profesional de 20 victorias y 10 derrotas. He is a freestyle fighter with an MMA record of 20 victories and 10 defeats. Representing EFR Fight Club, Derry County, Ireland, Greg Loughran. Y en la esquina roja, in the red corner, vestido de blanco con rojo y negro. He steps in wearing white trimmed in black and red. Detuvo la báscula, un peso oficial de 155 libras y un cuarto. He tipped the scales at an official 155.25 pounds. Igual que su rival, practica el arte marcial de estilo libre, con un récord profesional de 15 victorias y solo 2 derrotas. Like his opponent, he too is a freestyle fighter with an MMA record of 15 victories and only 2 losses. Representing the Fight Factory, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Eddie Alvarez.
Fighters have gone over the rules in the back. There are no final questions from you, Blue. No final questions from you, Red. Touch gloves, come out ready to fight.
So Eddie Alvarez, Jason, coming off a loss in his last fight to Shinya Aoki, courtesy of a heel hook, but he had injured his right leg before that bout on New Year's Eve. So I don't know how much we gleaned from that loss, but Eddie Alvarez, either way, trying to get back in the W column.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Eddie's had some problems with tournaments before. He once fought in the Dream Tournament. He beat Joaquim Hansen, had an injury, couldn't compete in the tournament. Joaquim went in for Eddie and ended up winning the tournament.
Right.
So he's got
Of course, the fight between Eddie Alvarez and Tatsuya Kawajiri, thought by a lot of people to be a Fight of the Year candidate late in 2008.
Absolutely. Eddie looking to make this a fight of the night for sure, throwing heavy hands right away. Loughran taking it to him.
Yeah, Loughran landed a shot there early. Doesn't seem to be phased by the atmosphere, by the U.S. soil, or any of that. Nice leg kick there to the body. Excuse me.
Eddie just plants his feet, throws punches, and says, "You're gonna fall down, or I'm gonna fall." Oh! Buckled Eddie with the left hand. Loughran did.
How about that? Eddie Alvarez trying to close the gap there quickly. Appeared to be stunned by that punch.
That's what's great about things like this. It's mixed martial arts. Anything can happen, and oftentimes anything does happen. How many Cinderella stories do you hear about early events where there's tournaments and guys come in as alternates, you know, getting their chance?
Nice uppercut there by Eddie Alvarez. Seems to be finding his stride a little bit here. Loughran, though, wouldn't reveal his game plan to us. Wanted to keep it close to the vest, but again, really just seemed very comfortable in the atmosphere, dealing with the Bellator folks and really trying to maximize this opportunity.
It looks like his game plan is just to punch Eddie in the head a lot. So far, it's working.
Yeah, you know Eddie wants to strike, and Greg seems to be fine with that.
Yeah. They have a mutual agreement. We'll punch each other till one of us falls.
Right. Little overhand right there by Eddie. Appeared to be blocked by Loughran.
Good sprawl there that got his hips in deep. Eddie now working in on that single leg. Greg got to peel him up so that he takes away some of that leverage that Alvarez is trying to use there. If he can just suck him off the fence, pull off that left leg, boom, down he goes.
Well, Loughran able to get up rather easily, Jay, and get off the cage.
Yeah, Eddie did get a good takedown there. Alvarez put him against the cage, sucking off that ankle, but like you said, Loughran right back up.
Alvarez really an athlete, really a physical specimen, and a decided favorite here.
Alvarez again pinning Loughran against the cage, in deep on those doubles. Used a lot of energy to pull someone off the cage, though. That's the only problem that you have. Unless you're Eddie Alvarez and you can just suck him right off the cage. Eddie's gonna look to use that cage now to kind of posture up and throw some punches here against Loughran.
Dangerous.
Oh, he's
looked
got
like
a guillotine
it tapped there.
tight.
Looked like Loughran had already tapped. Maybe Jason Herzog didn't see it.
It did look like he may have tapped, but
again, that soft tap, trying to survive a little bit. Alvarez.
Oh, he gets him. It's over. It's over.
And Greg Loughran is done. Eddie Alvarez with ease, moving on in the Bellator lightweight tournament. No surprise here, Eddie Alvarez back in the win column. Careful you don't get injured there. You got to fight in another month,
Telling
Eddie.
you, you've had some tournament injuries before. I'm not sure you should be flipping off a cage.
So Eddie Alvarez, sort of a sluggish start at the beginning, but he makes quick work of Greg Loughran as Alvarez moves on to the surprise of no one really, his wife enjoying every minute of it. Eddie Alvarez takes out Greg Loughran. Alvarez improving his mark to 16-2, bouncing back from the aforementioned New Year's Eve loss against Shinya Aoki. And this is how Eddie Alvarez fights. He's in your face, he's aggressive, fast-paced throughout. This is what you come and pay the big bucks for, to see Eddie Alvarez put on a striking display. And this was vintage Eddie Alvarez tonight. So Greg Loughran, as we mentioned, no issue making a $155 despite being 6 feet. He really works hard on his clinch fighting and his boxing. He is a skilled boxer, and he got the early shot in on Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah,
Bungled Eddie Alvarez, that says something.
You know, if we take a look at the replay here, Loughran got really close to getting this fight underway in his favor. Throws a big left hook, and Loughran hits Eddie. Boom! Right there on the chin. There it is, big left hook, buckles Eddie for a second. Loughran said, oh, I might be able to capitalize.
But Alvarez showing off the chin, gets right up, and then here Eddie comes back and finishes the fight.
Kind of in a He-Man pose there. Using that cage to sink that guillotine in, cutting off the blood flow to Loughran's head, and nowhere to move because he's pinned up against that cage.
And you see it more and more in mixed martial arts these days. You sort of get the soft tap first, and then eventually Greg Loughran can't escape the nice side guillotine choke there. Eddie Alvarez moving on, not with the knockout that he had hoped for, but he'll take a first-round finish by submission anyway, and then the back flip to boot. We will be speaking to Eddie Alvarez inside the cage, but first we move it inside. Lupe Contreras has your decision.
Damas y caballeros, la esquina azul se rinde con un tiempo oficial de 2 minutos 44 segundos el primer asalto. Ladies and gentlemen, the blue corner is forced to tap out with an official time of 2 minutes 44 seconds of the very first round. Your winner by way of guillotine choke submission, el vencedor por estrangulación de guillotina. Y avanzando a la segunda ronda de Bellator Fighting Championships and moving on to the second round of Bellator Fighting Championships. De Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Eddie Alvarez.
So Eddie Alvarez, ubiquitously regarded as a top 5 lightweight in the world, did nothing to diminish that status tonight. We'll hear from Eddie Alvarez when we come back to the Bellator debut. So Eddie Alvarez moving one step closer to the Bellator world title as he takes out Greg Loughran. Jason Chambers standing by with a victorious Alvarez.
I'm here with your winner, Eddie Alvarez. Eddie, it looked like early in the fight you got caught with a left hand that kind of buckled your knees a little bit there.
Yeah. I told the ref before the fight, I said, hey, don't stop it. I usually get knocked out at least once a fight. So I recover quick. Just let me keep going and keep staying in the fight.
Well, you definitely did recover, and you recovered well. Talk us through the replay a little bit here.
Yeah, I was just watching that exchange. That actually, I have to work on that because when I fought Tatsuya Kawajiri, he caught me with the same thing and almost put me down. One time I'm not going to recover, so I got to work on that.
Tell us how you ended the fight.
I got the takedown. I heard his corner saying, don't let him take you down, so I think they were a little nervous about that. And I seen him breathing heavy. I was in great shape for this fight. He definitely gave me a run for my money standing up, but as soon as I got the takedown, I felt him breaking a little bit, and I was able to catch the guillotine there. I got my first submission.
So how does it feel moving on in the tournament now?
Lovely. A lot of pressure on me here. The guys at Bellator, I want to make them happy. I want to make this promotion something spectacular. So I'm gonna be busting my ass and doing everything I can to please everyone out here.
Well, it sounds like you got a lot of fans here that want to see you do well in the tournament. And so far, so good. We're going forward in the bracket with you. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Alvarez.
Thank you.
So Eddie Alvarez moving on. Takes care of the hype and the pressure, no problem. He is on to the semifinals. We are right back with more Bellator action in a moment. Hotel.
Damas y caballeros, este combate concluye el evento de esta noche y forma parte del torneo de eliminación directa de Bellator Fighting Championships en la división peso ligero. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our final bout of the evening, and it continues in the Bellator Fighting Championship Single Elimination Lightweight Tournament. Este combate, pactado a 3 asaltos. This bout, scheduled for 3 rounds of MMA action. Los jueces son, the judges are John Rupert, Héctor Gómez, y Rick Bays. El referee, Troy Wall. En la esquina azul, in the blue corner, vestido de rojo con negro y blanco. He steps in wearing red trimmed in black and white. Su peso oficial, 155 libras. His official weight, 155 pounds. Practica el arte marcial de estilo libre, con un récord profesional de 21 victorias y solo 5 derrotas. He's a freestyle fighter with a professional record of 21 victories, along with 5 defeats. Representing Agallar Combative Systems, Racine, Wisconsin, Nick Agallar. Presentando la esquina roja, introducing the red corner, vestido de color celeste con blanco, rojo y amarillo. He steps in wearing light blue trimmed in yellow, white and red. Su peso oficial, 155 libras y 3 cuartos. His official weight, 155 3/4 pounds. Practica los artes marciales de box y lucha libre, con un récord profesional de 16 victorias y solo 3 derrotas. He is a boxing and wrestling practitioner with an MMA record of 16 victories, along with only 3 losses. Representing American Top Team, Miami, Florida, Jorge Masvidal.
Gentlemen, center of the ring, center of the ring. Welcome to the Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida. It's the main event of the night. I want a good, clean fight. I will not tolerate anything less. Touch gloves, go back to your corner. Let's get ready to rock and roll.
So Troy Waugh barking the commands there. You see Nick Agallar trying to spring the upset against Jorge Masvidal. Masvidal, Jay, the picture of focus as usual.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, looking at Nick Agallar today, he's huge for 155, man.
Yeah, he is a big guy.
Dude.
I thought he was a welterweight or a middleweight when I first saw him. Jorge Masvidal, maybe not as wide, but certainly has a couple inches on Nick Agallar. All right, the action gets underway. It is the final bout of the evening. Who will move on to the semifinals of the Bellator lightweight tournament? $25,000 in hand to the winner and a chance to win $175,000 in just 3 months' time. Also, a world title potentially on the line if you win 3 fights.
And Masvidal just happy controlling the center of the ring, sizing up Nick Agallar here. Kind of seeing where those openings are.
We asked Masvidal about his game plan. He said Nick Agallar will be a dead man walking.
Masvidal was the only one in the pre-fight interviews that said, I want to talk to the camera and tell him I'm going to kick his ass.
Yeah, let me stare into the camera.
Let me talk some smack.
Agallar, though, won't be surprised with anything he sees in the cage tonight. As we mentioned, a veteran of 26 mixed martial arts fights. He's only been finished by strikes twice in those 26 fights. So not a guy who falls victim to the KO or the TKO easily.
No, not at all. Masvidal, with some punches while Agallar is covering up.
Jay, this could be over in a hurry. Troy Waugh
over really quick. If Agallar needs to do, it's over.
That will do it. No time to waste. 1 minute, 19 seconds into the opening round. Jorge Masvidal disposes of Nick Agallar. End of discussion. Agallar exit cage left. Jorge Masvidal making a major statement in his Bellator debut. He wins $25,000. More importantly, a spot in the semifinals of the Bellator lightweight tournament.
Yeah, it just looked like Masvidal overwhelmed Agallar there. It looked like Masvidal may have hit him with one hand that kind of stunned him. It took Nick a second to get his wits back about him, and in the meantime, Masvidal hopped all over him, and that's what's important. You see a guy get wounded, you got to go in for the kill.
And you just see how elite a mixed martial artist Jorge Masvidal really is, particularly in the striking department. 8 of his 16 wins coming into the fight by knockout or TKO. Now he gets that knockout percentage over 50% and really didn't waste much time. He saw one opening, landed flush, great accuracy, great versatility with his striking, and this thing ended in a hurry. Certainly a disappointing Bellator debut for Nick Agallar. Back to the drawing board for him, and I know he's disappointed.
Let's take a look at the end of that fight there again, see if we can see the punch. It looked like a left hook might have gotten behind Aguilar's hand there, and just doesn't look like Masvidal gave him even a second to get up. Just relentless with his punches was Masvidal. Aguilar's covering. Yeah, something happened. I'd love to hear what happened with Agallar.
I mean, it didn't seem as though Agallar got hit with a lot of clean shots. Obviously, the late right hand in the ground and pound, and that's when Troy Waugh decided to step in and call an end to the action. I would have looked for Agallar to maybe get up at some point there.
Yeah, it didn't look like Agallar had a lot of time to recover. So, who knows? If I had to guess, I would say Masvidal hit him with the left hand. Might have hit behind the ear, just kind of stunned him and took him out of it for a second.
All right, let's send it inside to Lupe Contreras. He has the final decision as Jorge Masvidal moves on.
Damas y caballeros, el referee Troy Waugh para la contienda con un tiempo oficial de 1 minuto 19 segundos el primer asalto. Ladies and gentlemen, referee Troy Waugh stops this bout with an official time of 1 minute 19 seconds of the very first round. Your winner, by way of technical knockout, el vencedor por knockout técnico. Y avanzando a la segunda ronda de Bellator Fighting Championships. And moving on to the next round of Bellator Fighting Championships, Jorge Masvidal.
Well, well, the fighters do control their own destiny here in the Bellator Fighting Championships. The dream matchup potentially in the final between Jorge Masvidal and Eddie Alvarez remains intact. We will hear from the victorious Jorge Masvidal when we come back. It's the Bellator debut at the Seminole in Hollywood, Florida. So Jorge Masvidal wasting little time moving on to the semifinals in the lightweight tournament. The victor standing by with Jason Chambers.
I'm here with your winner, Jorge Masvidal. Jorge, impressive win tonight.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
So you're moving on in the tournament. How does that feel?
Feels great, man. I'm 2 fights away from being the champion. Told you I'm gonna do. I'm just getting warmed up. You know, I got 2 more fights to go. So don't get anxious now. No. Wait till the finals. Then that's when we can party, man.
Well, you know what? You had a great fight, ended in a little over a minute. Talk us through your fight with Nick.
I've known Nick for a while. We fight in a bunch of the same circuits, so I studied a lot of tape on him. Got to see him fight live a lot, so I knew what Nick could bring, and I just had to stay on my toes, make sure I didn't get caught with his big punches. He's a strong dude.
Excellent job, sir. We look forward to seeing you in the tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, Jorge Masvidal.